Hey guys, what's up? Tellarknight here, and I'm coming at you with yet another deck profile, my third for the February 2018 ban list format. This is a little different of a deck profile compared to what I normally do. This time it's actually Lightsworns, and it's kind of a pure Lightsworn build minus the extra support cards and the Twilights that I run in the main deck. But without... I'll go ahead and get started on this for you because it's about a 40 card deck with a 15 card extra deck, so it can last a little long. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with the deck profile, shall we? First off, of course, is going to be your triple Judgment Dragon. He's your board wipe of the deck. He's like a dark hole that doesn't destroy itself, pretty much. And you can only special summon him from your hand, and you cannot normal summon or set him, but I guess if you ran like Monster Reborn or something, you could special summon him back from the grave. But if you have 4 or more Lightsworn monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon it from your hand. You can pay 1,000 life points to destroy all other cards on the field. Now keep in mind, Judgment Dragon will, if you have 3 on the field and you activate one effect, it will destroy the other 2. So, and then in the end phase, send the top 4 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This deck is made to be very fast-paced, so I hope that makes a little bit of sense there for you. Next is going to be triple Lumina Lightsworn Summoner. I'll go ahead and do the rest of the main deck engine right here for you. The main Lightsworn engine, I guess. 3 Lumina, 3 Raiden, 3 Wolf, and then 1 Fellas. Your Lumina is like a Monster Reborn for Lightsworns, except you discard to get the monster to your field. Except you discard, then target, but in order to activate the effect, you have to have another Lightsworn monster. And you have to have another Lightsworn monster in your graveyard. But you can use its effect to discard another copy of itself, and then summon that copy, and then use that effect to discard another copy of itself, and then summon that copy, and so forth. So it's actually a really good deck. Really good engine to run the Lumina, plus Raiden and Wolf and Fellas. Raiden, it allows you to mill more of your deck. In a way, Raiden can be bricky, but in another way, Raiden's really helpful because during your turn, you don't have to wait till the end phase. You can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard and hopefully send one of these 2, Wolf or Fellas. But then, another good thing about Raiden is it gains 200 attack if it does send a Lightsworn monster. Next is going to be your triple Wolf and your 1 Fellas. They're pretty much the same. Wolf just has to be sent from the deck to the grave and it special summons itself. Fellas, on the other hand, has to be sent by a monster, and when it's on the field, you can tribute it, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy that target, then send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So that also allows you to dig further trying to get your Wolf. Next, for the end of the Lightsworn engine, granted that was pretty much the pure engine right there, you're going to play your 2 Lumina Twilightsworn Shaman. This Lumina will allow for you to get any banished Lightsworn monster that you, like any Lightsworn monster that you have banished, except itself sadly, from the banish zone to your field. So that's really helpful depending on what you have banished. And that is it for the main deck Lightsworn engine, monster-wise. So let's go ahead and get on to the support monsters, or at least that's what I call them, as the support. I'm going to have 3 Eclipse Wyverns. Eclipse Wyvern, basically, if it is sent to the graveyard in any way, shape, or form, banish a level 7 or higher light or dark dragon-type monster. And then if this card, that while it is in the graveyard, is banished, you add the monster banished by its effect to your hand. So that makes for some really nice plays. And I have banished, well, I have sent all three of these on one turn and then banished all three of them in one turn. So I got my Judgment Dragons all to my hand. And the reason I was able to banish all three of these in one turn was it was actually off of one card, and it was Fairy Tale Snow. Now I do play one copy of Luna because Luna allows for you to get Snow to your hand, but Luna is also kind of bricky. If you draw it, it's kind of a, you want this card in your first, like in your starting hand, and you don't want to draw into it type thing. And then Snow, everybody knows what Snow does, so I'm not really going to go over that. Next, you play 2 copies of Goblinberg. Goblinberg allows for you to speed up your rank 4 plays, or you can summon Goblinberg, use its effect, summon Lumina, use Lumina's effect, and just build from there, pretty much. Next is kind of going to be your Performage engine, I guess you could say, minus the damage to Juggler and Hat Tricker. You just play 1 copy of Trick Clown and 1 copy of Hero Challenger Thousand Blade. Trick Clown, if it is sent to the graveyard, target 1 Performage monster in your graveyard, special summon it, its attack and defense becomes 0, and you take 1,000 damage, and you can only use its effect once per turn. And the 1,000 damage is where Thousand Blade comes in, because if this is in your graveyard and you take damage, Thousand Blades special summons itself in attack position, and you can only use its effect once per turn, but that allows for you to make some more of your fun rank 4 plays that this deck focuses so much on. Next is going to be Destrudo, the Lost Dragons version. Everybody knows what Destrudo does. Pretty much every single meta deck plays it. I have actually not found a meta deck that does not play it, to be honest. So that's actually probably the most prominent card I have found in an extra, in the Lightsworn deck, because you can mill it so fast. Sorry, I'm counting cards in my extra deck. I just realized I was missing one. Alright. Now that I got that fixed for when I get to the extra deck. Sorry about that. Next is going to be your Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This allows for you to summon, to banish your Eclipse Wyvern, so that you can get Judgment Dragon back to your hand. And then you play 1 copy of Glow Up Bulb. I will explain this when I get to the extra deck. I have a very good reason for it. And then I play 1 Gem Knight Garnet, because I do run the Brilliant Fusion engine in this deck, and the Brilliant Fusion engine is actually very, very helpful for getting more summons off in this deck. So that is it for the monsters. Now onto the spells, which is the rest of the deck. So I play a really high monster count, and then I play spells. So I play 3 Solar Recharge, discard 1 Lightsworn monster, draw 2 cards, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Pretty standard for this deck. 2 Charge of the Light Brigade. You can play 3, but I prefer 2. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, add 1 level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster from your deck to your hand. So this allows you to get your Lumina or Raiden sooner. Next is 2 copies of March of the Dark Brigade. March of the Dark Brigade, target 1 Lightsworn monster in your graveyard that has a level, so you cannot target Minerva or Curious. Add it to your hand, then banish a number of cards from the top of your deck, equal to the original level of that monster that is now in your hand. You can only activate 1 March of the Dark Brigade per turn. And then next is your Brilliant Fusion engine, and then I play 1 copy of Regeki because you just kind of need that extra board wipe thrown in every now and then. That is it for the main deck, so now on to the extra. Extra deck wise, I play a few Link monsters actually. I play 2 copies of Curious, which is the new Lightsworn Link monster, so I'll go over her effect real quick. If this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while its owner controls it, you can target one card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each of the following effects of Curious the Lightsworn Dominion once per turn. If this card is linked to summoned, you can send one card from your deck to the graveyard, so Wolf or Fellis would be your targets there. Or Eclipse Wyvern if you have not sent all three, and you still have Judgment Dragons in your deck. If a card or cards are sent from the deck to the graveyard by an effect, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So, basically the first effect triggers the second effect. Pretty good. Next, you play 1 copy of Trigate Wizard. Everybody knows what that does. 1 copy of Firewall. Finally got a copy of it. I would like to get a second one for in case it ever goes back to 2 on the ban list. You don't know if it will. And then 1 copy of Decode Talker, and that is it for your Link monsters. So Decode pretty much becomes your beatdown for the deck. And so now that I've talked about the Link monsters, let's get on to the XYZ monsters. I play 2 Minerva because it's not a Lightsworn deck if you don't play Minerva, let's be honest. So, Minerva is your draw power for the deck, and you also send cards from the top of your deck to hopefully get the draws. So that allows you to send Wolf and Fellis. Pretty much, you can see my point. You want to get your rank 4 plays off. Next is 1 copy of Wind Up Zenmaines. Zenmaines, actually really good. If this face-up card on the field would be destroyed, you can you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card instead. Once per turn during the end phase, if this effect was used that turn, target 1 card on the field, destroy it. So pretty good. Your opponent activates Regeki, it stays, and then at the end of the turn they lose a monster. Pretty much they'd have to go Regeki, Dark Hole, and then attack it for them not to lose a monster in the end turn. But what are the odds of them having those in their hand? Next, sorry that keeps going up out of the camera almost. Next is 1 Bujinte Tsukiyomi. It's for draw power and discard power. Well, and discard. Next is Castell, because you want that ability to spin the monster back to your opponent's deck. And then 101 Silent Honor Arc, just so that you can, pretty much your opponent has Infinity, you've baited out the effect, and then you can just take their Infinity, not have to worry about it anymore. Pretty nice. Some decks do still summon Infinity. My ABC deck is probably the most prominent that I know. That's it for the XYZ monsters, so now on to the Synchro monsters. I play 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon for the Destrudo part of things, 1 Cyframe Lord Omega, and I know I said I would talk to you about the Glow-Up Bulb when I got to the extras, so it's that time. Crystal Wing. Glow-Up Bulb is in this deck for the Ancient Fairy Dragon. I can summon Ancient Fairy Dragon, use its effect, get a level 3 or 4 or whatever I want out of my hand onto the field. Then I can use Glow-Up Bulb in my graveyard, send the top card of my deck to the grave, special summon it out, go Glow-Up Bulb and Ancient Fairy Dragon for Crystal Wing, and voila, I have a negate on board. Plus I've probably already used Omega that turn, and I might have a Judgment Dragon on board too. And for the last card of the extra deck, 1 Gem Knight Seraph Knight for the extra normal summon to give you that push that you need to just out your opponents. You've probably noticed I don't play Michael in the deck. That's because I can't really decide if I want to play it or take something, or not, and if I do, what do I want to take out for it. So if you have an idea for me to take something out for Michael, please let me know, because Michael's a really good card for the extra deck. But without further ado, I will let you guys go. Though I would like to say one thing. I am selling cards on eBay, and the cards I am selling, all of the money I get for the time being is going in a savings for me, because I'm a French horn player. I play at the University of Central Oklahoma. I play in a quartet. We go around to schools and educate people about music, and chamber music especially. I'm saving up to get a new French horn because the one I play on right now is about 54 years old, 53, 54, somewhere in there. And it's time to retire it, to be honest. So I know the new French horn I'm going to get. Only thing is, it costs $4,700. So I need to save up for that. So I will put the link to that eBay in the description. Please feel free to check it out. See if there's anything on there that you would like. And I will eventually be doing unboxings on this channel. I know I've been saying that for a couple years, but now that I have this setup where I can use both my hands, I will be doing that for sure. So, thank you for watching. I'll let you guys go. And, yeah, have a great night, guys. Tellarknight signing off.